Hey guys, RunBuck with RunBuck on Games. Got another war recap for you. This time we're taking a look at a matchup with some of the X-Men, specifically Wolverines 3. I don't know if that means there are 3 Wolverines on their team or if they're just the animal Wolverine. I'm going to go with the X-Men because that's cooler. But we did end up beating him, as you can see here, 111 to 87. So a little bit probably tilted in our favor. But there were some attacks that the team thought were worth looking at. So let's take a gander at those. We'll just get right to it. Oh, and Elysier just sent me a poison spell. All right, way to go. First off, Bob's attack at a Town Hall 11 on their number 1 fresh attack was pretty solid. Got some notable votes. So everybody loves Bob when he comes to visit. So let's go ahead and do 2 times speed. He'll end up doing. It's probably similar to if you watched the prior war recap where I talked about how the walls can either be your friend or your foe. It depends how you look at it. Notice how Bob here will do 2 cuts, a queen walk cut and then a healer bowler cut before flowing in the middle with most of his bowler charge. But what he's using that's interesting is this wall. Because notice how he placed his spell right here, which basically narrows the base for him and allows him just to focus on this. Granted, he's taken a little bit of fire, but if you looked at the channel, you would have seen that there's not that much DPS. I mean, you can see some of it left. We'll look at it again here in a second. But that basic decision of how he jumped such that, basically took advantage of this outcropping, if you will, to funnel his troops a little bit better. Let's take a look at the map itself, and you can kind of see what Bob was thinking. And he did this very similar base on 3. He 3-starred that as well. So this style against that is pretty good reasoning. But so you can recognize here that the queen can clear all this with a basic walk, right? So at that point, he knows that he can probably easily control movement this way. And then he does a HeBo, which handles this part. I mean, he might not have gotten that, I don't think, but let's take a look now at 4 times speed and watch it flow through. Yeah, and then the usual giant. Bob's a big fan of the giant before dropping your other troops, so that's also nice. But boom. And then he actually walks. The other thing he did well is he walked the queen back to the entry point so that she was with the main force as they crossed over. So a few good recognitions. This queen cut being available to him, the recognition of using the wall to keep it funneled to 1/2, and then the movement with the queen to overall keep it in the thing probably makes that attack flow really well. So high five to Bob. Our next top vote getter was let's look at 17. The comments, I think I looked at this briefly, but maybe I didn't. It's SlimShady. Mass valks was the answer. But actually what's interesting to me about this attack was he did a nice usage of bowlers behind the main force first before driving the valks, so clearing out the overall base to begin with. But beyond that, I mean, it's a pretty dense base, so using bowlers in a mix of like a Vabo, Valk bowler, it was not too shocking of an idea. He let them do the burn through on the walls, didn't really bring jumps, used heals instead. So it ended up being actually a little closer than you would think. Because all he's got right now is the Valks themselves. But he got a lot of votes, so to be honest, I'm like, meh. But I guess everybody just liked to see the mass Valks, and maybe it was because it was a 6th hit on the base, so maybe it was the voting was just more of a thank God somebody finally closed his base, and he barely pulled it off. Now I didn't look at the other bases, and I'm pausing because I'm like, well. So as you look at that, and he just went with a mass power through. So the big decisions he made was to not probably use jumps, to let the Valks burn through the walls, even though it's a Town Hall. It's somewhat of a Town Hall 9 hit up. It does have Town Hall 10 capabilities. The Royals are not that scary, nor are the Expos. Where's this? He doesn't even have his third Expo up. So Let's see if he had. What does he have of Town Hall 11 that would be, or Town Hall 10 that would be scary? Because something clearly. I mean, there were some wall segments. Queen doesn't get through. He's got some Teslas. Does he have an extra bomb? Is that what did it? Yeah, so he had the extra bomb. Or did he? No, there's 4. So I don't know. I'd be interested in other people's comments about, you know, so this is 6th attack, right? And so it barely made it. What are we missing? I wonder if an attack that was more air would have been cleaner. You really don't get more than 2 ADs in any angle, so I don't think it's that. CC's pretty deep. Yeah, so maybe, you know, and just he took the. I don't know. Maybe it's just the fact that he's got extra defense, you know, non-defensive buildings that makes it harder for the troops to burn through it all. Maybe that's what's making it so hard. But anyway, it's a Town Hall 10. It was a 6th attack, so I think that's why everybody liked it. But you know, overall, the attack itself. Sorry, Slim. I like that you 3-starred it. How about that? 3rd attack was A-Boy, and he had 16. Fresh attack on 16. Yeah, so 1 up from A, and this is where they started having Infernos. So this was just 1 up from SlimShady's attack we just watched. And A-Boy's going to do the HeBo flank bowler charge type play with healers behind that. So it's a HeBo flank, HeBo charge type feel. And he does get nice penetration around the base. Some people commented that, you know, and I would be curious if A-Boy agrees, you know, that he basically correctly ignored the small center and didn't try to penetrate it. Instead just, you know, charged it and ran around it because, you know, you could throw in and take it all out. And so maybe that's the point from that attack. It's like when you looked at that base, right, and you see that your troops will flow around that core, to realize it's okay, right? Because your bowlers can throw in and basically take care of everything in the middle, so why do you need to get into the middle? It's only when there's stuff in the middle that you can't get to that it becomes a problem. So I guess watch for that. 6 healers, so clearly invested in the 2 flanking teams, which you saw really gave him some good value. Those guys just kept walking around and around forever. So I actually like that attack more because of that recognition. If somebody wants to point out in the comments on YouTube why I should love SlimShady's attack, let me know. So far, I'm not seeing why all the votes, but okay. Then lastly, for bonus round, Darth Carlos. Wow, we just went 15, 16, 17. A-Boys is fresh. Darth is the 3rd hit. Here we go for bonus. So this is going to be more of a peer attack for him. 40-40 heroes, that kind of stuff. So I think A-Boys is probably the most impressive because you noticed A-Boy doesn't have like really high level heroes. So again, I really like that attack. Let's see what Darth pulls off. Some nice cuts with HeBo flanks and then pulls in. So it's very similar to A-Boy's attack. The one difference is A-Boy tends to only carry 1 freeze, whereas Darth has consistently over wars, you've seen him do it a bunch of times, that double heal where he takes out 2 frees at the same time in broadsides. And it seems to work for him. I mean, as long as so you can get, I think it's when the eye towers are in range. I think they were right here, right? So he jumped in, and so he's got chuck distance on both at the same time pushing through. Let's look at how he controlled the pathing, though, because you really have to have focused fire on both Infernos at the same time to pull off that double freeze broadside on the Infernos. So he, how did he know that he wouldn't go one side or the other? So at this point, if he comes in, he does get really good flow into this section. Maybe he holds his jump till he gets that cleared. Nope. And he definitely gives, it's an off-center jump. So I don't know. Let's see what they do now. Oh, okay. So it's interesting. Did you see how? I guess he would, and that's probably something you could predict, that the chuck distance here would very quickly clear these two lanes, leaving a drive towards this mid. And then he drops his freezes immediately as they move up. And they're down before they can even do anything. So that's actually, I'm gonna move him above A-Boy now, because if he actually anticipated that of the two bowler teams spreading, which is common for them to spread, so that's probably something you could predict, and then taking out that to where now what he's seeing is this with a jump on it, and then immediately you saw how as soon as this cleared, he dropped his two freezes, and he was basically one hop in, chuck 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 chuck, done. So nice attack. And then a couple, also knowing that he'd have the ADs down, so a little bit of loon action on the backside. And he probably needed that when you look at it. He didn't have a lot of bowlers left after that, so his mid-team... And he also knew that he had a hound in the core. So keeping the queen away from the hound, it didn't pop. So if that hound had popped, that might have been problematic. All those loon pups running around, or those hound pups running around. But a good attack either way. So that's the bonus for you, and I guess that wraps up that war. Quicker than normal. There you go. Boom, boom. Look at that beautiful artwork for you. So I hope your wars go well, and we'll see you guys next time around.
What am I gonna do? My clan sucks. Hey, it's JTJ.
I think that's an all-out attack.
No, it's the legendary JTJU. JTJU. What? I like Wryhorn. You and this army. Download Clash of Clans for free. Then subscribe to JTJU and win.